ultimately I will take some example while taking this entire presentation. Probably with that example I can cover probably the correct flavor to you. Okay, so basically if you see this slide, it's actually stating very clear that there are only few proposals only have been funding, though the thousands plus multiple of thousands proposal has been submitted, but only few proposals only have been getting handled. So we may have even I do sometimes feel that why our proposal got getting granted. We could see some of the value on it, and provided something we know that we have not done properly, even then the proposal has been accepted. So basically the proposal, when we are writing, what is there in the proposal, majorly the people who are reviewing, they are not thoroughly reading that, they are reading only some of the aspects. So maybe we can roughly say our proposal is not aligned with the scheme what basically there is a noise, please make sure you mute your mic. So that's a $1 million question, right? Everyone has a mind. So what are the criteria? Is there any thumb rule? Is there to get a fund? No, not at all. We don't have any thumb rule at all. But we have to work for certain criteria. Probably the agency is interested to give a funding to us, not only with respect to the proposal, also they will see many parameters time to time. Now if you take, you all know, due to the corona, Government of India don't have that much amount of fund to, maybe 2021, 2022, we won't get that much amount of fund from the government. But nevertheless, they are not going to stop the funding, but provided the getting funding is, I feel that it will be so difficult because the government don't have much funding. So this figure is a Google figure. You know that thousands of proposals, even those proposals are very good, but why those proposals are not accepted? Basically, those proposals are not in the format. So they need some improved format. So major rejection ratio comes from the format, because we are mainly concentrate on our mode of content normally, and maybe last 2 days before only we are started to formatting, and then sometimes we are formatting the last minute. So those are actually not coming up with a good final flavor. So that is actually giving bad in the formatting. So as I told already, I have raised some questions before entering into the topic. So maybe those questions with your mind also. So what is basically proposal format, and my idea, will it be funding or not, and what are the agencies are there where I have to fit my idea into the respective agencies. Probably my idea can be submitted all the agencies or the specific agencies. Agencies mean that because many are new, the funding provider, maybe DST, DPT, who are all funding provider agencies, they call it as agencies, or the respective agencies having some schemes, maybe you can take it as Sarvanda. So and what are the components I have to add specifically? Is there any important component I wanted to add into the proposal? Then finally, what is the criteria for the key selection, the key criteria of the selection? Then finally, what is the best proposal writing? And maybe how do I submit the proposal, whether it is online portal is available, or I supposed to be prepare it and binding it and I have to send it through courier. So those things will be another question. Then another one is that how you can plan your career with respect to the funding project. So that is also very important. Sometimes we may feel that immediately the people who are recently completing PhD, they may plan for startup grant. Probably the people who are the age of 40, they have to plan for what kind of funding. So those criteria also is there in the packet of this funding schemes. Then other thing that what are the extra component I need to add into the proposal, whether I can add some models, whether I can add some uh, uh, sir, anyone can you help me, sir Ratnam sir, because this some disturbance is coming from some mic.
Yes, yes, I am doing it. I am on it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So okay. So now I completed my presentation, my proposal. When I go to my presentation, what are the challenges are there? Probably you are writing a proposal when you are going for a presentation, whether you maybe have a slight deviation between what you propose and what you present. Yes, that is also maybe sometime it comes under the failure rate. And what should do, what should not do. So these are the basically questions that will come to our mind when we are thinking of any proposal writing. So basically, the best proposal writing is like just I keep some images in the different part of slides actually. So you have to see in the colorful things, like it is no, again I'm telling you, it's not a thumb rule. So we have to keep on improvise ourselves. Maybe I'm writing first proposal, probably I'm going to second proposal. We have to prepare our proposal better than the first one. So in that way only we have to write our best proposal. So like based on that, the today's presentation, I have kept the content. I quickly go to this all these topics, like what are the opportunities and then funding agency and so on. So I don't want to read it. So basically, what is research proposal and what is research grant? So we have to understand very clearly about that. Research proposal in the sense that there are different agencies are there. Say for example, DST will be there. Within DST, SERB, everyone knows that Scientific Board of Scientific Research, right? So SERB has different portal like core research grant, startup grant, travel grant. So those are actually research proposals. So already they have a fund for the respective scheme. In that they are calling and we are applying a proposal in different aspects of technology. For example, people who are in medical, they can apply their own field, and people who are working in the basic science, they can apply. And since I'm an electrical engineer, I can apply in electrical, mechanical engineer, I apply in mechanical. So there is no any specific area relevant. So in generic, like science and technology, probably in maybe it's medicine, they may be applying DPT platform. So those are called as research proposal, which means that the fund is already available. There is no specific theme, and you can submit any of your idea. Whereas the research grant is in that it's totally different, right? So it's very specific. Like for example, a Center of Excellence of Renewable Energy System. That may be a theme in sense that your proposal totally lie on that renewable energy only. Maybe the other example, medical equipment center of excellence. Probably you have to plan only for the medical equipment. You don't want to add something, cyber security and so on. So that is not interested at all in that. So this is basically research grant. So the research grant, normally there is a ceiling values like 5 crores, 3 crores, 4 crores. But sometimes the research grant, there is no ceiling value. So we can try in the any value of the grant. So the research proposal, probably it's very restricted. Like if you take core research grant or startup grant, probably 25 lakhs maximum they will give. If you take a core research grant, they will give 70 lakhs. And you have some model, I will so on to those things. So what I'm trying to say from this proposal in this slide, like we may try the research grant with the eminent professor, those who are already experienced of handling the funding projects in their early career. But since some of them, they're new in the career and they are not even getting any proposal before. So according to me, the research grant, it's not a good solution to apply before. So we have to be always prepare for the long run. That's why I said be prepared for the long run. So you have to be apply first the research proposals, maybe 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. You have to award some proposals, then you have to maybe one and a half year, you have to show some results from there. And you can connect with any suitable grants are coming, so you can connect with your free professors or researchers in your institution, or even you can collaborate with other institutions also. You can try for the grant. So basically, research proposal writing, since many are seniors already noticed that the participation, but there are juniors also there. With respect to them, I just cover what is basically research proposal. You have some idea. In that idea, probably what is there, you have problem statement first. You have some problem statement. That problem statement, you are identifying the methodology, how to solve the problem. with that problem, we are giving a solution. Finally, the solution may be a technology, or it may be a product, or it might be a solution sometime. It's any form. Like, so any proposal, if you take, there should be a type of a title, research topic, something like I am writing a research in this area of renewable energy system. Okay, so I don't want to totally, I don't want to explain what exactly I'm doing it, but basically the renewable energy system. Then I have to find out within the renewable energy system what exactly I'm doing it. Then I have to identify what is the research problem within that. Then I have to ask some clarifications among myself, right? I have to ask some questions that whether this problem is already attempted, or I am re-attempted, or yearly they're attempted, but the solutions are not sufficient enough, or it is not sufficient enough for the at present 2020 forum, or if you take 2025 or 2030, the present technology is not able to serve more energy. Say for example, I am taking renewable energy. So you have to keep on asking those questions. With that questions, you have to see what is the sustainability of your project. That's very, very important. We are giving a solution to the project problems. Maybe the solution may be a 1 year or 1.5 year. That is not a good solution actually. So you should have some sustainability. So you have to ask so many questions, not only that question. So based on that, you have to frame your clear objective, and then write a proposal, and finally you say some, these are the deliverable I'm going to give. Basically, this is actually called research proposal. So some statement, quickly I will skip some of the slides. So basically, what is research proposal? That it's a purely document. You have to say your problem and what is the method to solve the problem. So that is what the research proposal it is. The agency wanted to understand from you that whether it is actually what they are understanding from their reading. Based on that only, they will identify what is your problem and what is your deliverable, or what is your method for that particular problem. If they are not able to read properly, or they are not able to understand, they decide not to give the proposal. So that's very important. So throughout the proposal, the planning is very important. I will tell you what are the planning related. So then basically, if you take any proposal, as I told you, the pre-planning, right? Pre-planning in sense that stakeholders, that's very important. Stakeholder in sense that, okay, I am a researcher who is going to be solve the problem. That's fine. But where is the problem? Say for example, I'm taking again example of renewable energy. Maybe I'm taking PV system, maybe a PV electric cooker. So PV electric cooker, it might be used for a remote application. Sometimes it may be used for other part of aspects, like whenever you don't have electricity, we can use it. Or whenever I'm going for a trip, trekking, or those kind of practices, we can use it, right? So stakeholder, like who are a stakeholder, or you are doing medical research. Take for example, right now we are in Corona COVID, right? So who is a stakeholder? Entire humans are stakeholders. So like we have to find out the stakeholder, clearly understand what is the stakeholder analysis, which means it might be a low priority, who either elderly affected people, or it might be a physically handicapped, or so as a common any human being. So all this analysis you should do. You have to plan your problem is relevant to whom exactly. Then you identify what is the possible of funding agencies. Now, as I said in the previous slide, there are so many research funding agencies that I am going to list out now. So, but your ideology is so good, then you have to plan, with the cluster of people, and add additional technology scientists also in your faculty scientists also in your portfolio of human resource. Then you can plan those things. So also you should understand what are the local resources. So maybe if you take SRM, we are all SRM. So I am looking some kind of satellite research. Yes, it's possible to develop an SRM allied with NASA. Probably some part we can do. We have some equipments, and of course we don't have equipments such what NASA has. So definitely those kind of research, I have to connect a particular resource or particular availability laboratories. So then only I can proceed the research, right? So these are we have to plan first when you prepare your proposal. So what agency exactly wanted to know from you? It's very simple. what is your approach? Uh, what is the importance of the your research with respect to the community? Community sense that your stakeholder, as I said, to whom is going to use your research deliverable, or you are solving some problem which community you are actually targeting it. So then finally, sustainability, as I said, that it is benefit to society. How long? That's another question. Of course, it is there in the arena. So this is very clear to understand that the idea of the proposal normally community demand and identify the experts. Like I may be experts, which means I am doing it, doing the proposal, but I have to identify the other experts also within my own institution or within my own pre-review friend circle or other institution, because my proposal probably connected with not only independently. I may be planning for quarantine test kit for very remote people. So maybe I need a battery and some TV to store the battery. So maybe the quarantine kit, maybe electronic kits. Sometimes it has to be charged, something like that. I'm preparing it. So I need a doctor. I need a instrumentation engineer, and I'm an electrical engineer. Of course, I need some mechanical engineer also. So we have to identify the experts. And community, as I said already, very, very important. When you have a problem comes from the community. Don't take the problem simply from the floor. So you have to take the problem from the community. So with that, we have to plan for our proposal. So basically, the good idea in the sense that your proposal should have a genuine problem. Point number one. It can be a real problem. It can be solvable, and provided it will be useful for others. So there will be a two type of approach always the proposal. One is that participating approach. Another one is targeted approach. So what is that participating approach? That there are schemes are coming. Even I do that mistake. There are schemes are coming. Suddenly we are preparing something and submitting. That is actually called it as participating approach, because I don't have a clear vision what I have to submit in that particular proposal has been asked. So just I wanted to participate. That's it. Whereas I am very clearly understand what is the problem from the donor. Donor in sense that maybe a stakeholder to whom I want to, which community I wanted to do the research. So, so in that way I am approaching it. That is actually called targeted approach. So target approach, 99% of 90% probably I can say the proposal probably will be entered into at least in the presentation level. So if you go the participating approach, probably according to even my experience, participating approach are not actually worked out. So then we need to have some logical framework. So again, there is no thumb rule, again a logical framework. So we have to prepare our own self, our own logical framework according to the proposal preparation. Right? Okay. So now maybe you maybe have an answer for this question, like probably people those are already got proposal and people those are rejected during the submission or presentation, probably you can understand. You can understand that where you lag or where you good, right? So maybe you maybe understand what is the answer of those questions what I raised in the previous slide. So what is the essential for proposal writing? This is very important slide. Your experience in the specific field and domain knowledge is very important. Specific field is I am a computer science engineer. Domain knowledge I am a cyber security person. Say for example, 3 to 4 days before there is a news comes from China and as well as Russia. So the cyber crimes are comes from China and Russia, and particularly Russia is claiming that is Russia has entered into different laboratory. Those are doing for corona vaccine. So you see here now, and also India have aligned with Russia to connect the technology of this cyber security firewalls and all that. So computer science within that firewall. So we have to concentrate computer science and other as well as this firewall. Probably I can say domain knowledge is a firewall. Computer science is domain knowledge, and then specific field is probably I can say like this cyber security or physical security, whatever you can say. Within that, what experience you have? You are writing a proposal, for example, cyber security firewall. You are preparing for some banking system or some medical system. Previously, you have been attempted any kind of research in your laboratory, or at least you publish some papers in that area. That is very important. The agency need to know what is your experience in that specific field. Either you or your probably your PI or OPA or any experts who you are adding. So that's very important. Then detailed investigation. Yes, you have been done some work and made a publication, even patent also. But investigation, you have to say what are the experience you got from the early research what you have done. So basically, as I told already, you have to hunt your research problem from the stakeholders, right? So I may take a stakeholder during the COVID-19. Even I take the same problem. Like we want to, protect our all national laboratory from the cyber and physical security threat. So maybe I have done some kind of experience in terms of cyber and physical security. What I have done already. Anyway, that is there in the publication, but apart from the publication, we have to say that I have been done like this, those so and so. Some of the attempts, the other Indians or foreign researchers trying that area, and these are the upsets are still we wanted to proceed, and those things we have to add, that is actually given to the way in the detailed manner, so that the agency can understand that what depth you are in that field, and also they understand what is the importance of this specific problem. So that is very important, because the reviewer normally, it's a polite reviewer, someone from MHRD, someone from technical field, or someone from other department also. So we have to be always very clear, common statement, what investigation you have done and what common people do we understand that, right? Then some basic results, if you have, you can keep in that, nothing wrong. So you can add it to annexes. And your biodata, basically biodata, I don't want to accelerate your biodata. Any of our fields like to explain that. So technical background, you have to give very important for that. And some of the publication is not relevant to that particular proposal what you are targeting. Please don't do that, because they don't want those number of publications. They want only the targeted publication what we are actually proposing here and what background you are in that. Then writing techniques, yes, as I told already, you have some logical framework. So you have to follow that. You have to be important for that. Then basically writing proposal, this is an internet image. So what do you know already, and maybe at present, and what you wanted to know further, that is also to be a research, right? For example, people go, the virologists, probably some doctors also available here. You are doing some practicing virology testing and all. So anyway, you are concentrated on COVID virus. Now you are identifying some other virus, same characteristics with the COVID and other viruses. So yes, you are understanding something here. There is a new virus from the COVID hierarchy. So yeah, so that is also can be actually proposed. So here we want a donor. Yes, we want donor, but we don't want to concentrate much. So basically, what past and what present and what you wanted to know, based on that also you can actually write a proposal. So basically, we can say that it's a knowledge gap you wanted to fulfill. Those kind of research proposal also can be encouraged, and maybe you are concentrating a donor also. You can approach this manner. It's like participating manner or targeted manner, whatever. But if you raise this question among yourself, then you can come up with good writing things, right? Now I'm coming to the funding agencies. It's very important for the beginners. So basically, funding agencies, what are the funding opportunities are there? That students community and faculty community. If you take a faculty community, basically they want only two things. Like one is a funding project, another one is they wanted to go abroad and within India work with the premier institution as a postdoc or a visiting researcher or so on. So yes, that opportunity is available, and students basically they want projects funding, and as well as they want to do training, or even sometimes PhD student they wanted to do 1 year PhD program in abroad, and as well as IIT and IISc Bangalore. So yes, those are already available with the different funding agencies. So basically, research project purely it's a grant and project. Again, within that there are a lot of schemes are available. Then fellowship, fellowship in that. Say for example, what fellowship I got is a master fellowship. Every year, 7 people are around India. Only 7 people they are giving fellowship in specific of solar research. So you can collaborate with the foreign institution. Either you can convert it to be a postdoctorate, or you already senior level professor. You are converted as a visiting researcher. So anyway, any forum you can approach in this fellowship funding. And international research collaboration, which means that Spark and InPrint, Impress. So we in India, some institution, and foreign some institution, we are collaborating and addressing some problems. Those are actually funding. So there are a lot of schemes are available. But if you go to a DST website, international collaboration research fundings are largely available than the regular funding. So basically, Indo-US, Indo-Farm, right? Indo-Australia, Denmark. So many things are there. Then training, like faculty maybe wanted to have a training in long-term view and short-term view. You can get a funding, and you have an idea. It's a readily available product. Say, for example, I already completed a core research grant project. Finally, I have a deliverable that might be a final product. Like maybe I can say that it might be a testing kit for quarantine, COVID-19. So immediately I can approach government. I wanted to start this as a product. So the government have throughout the year, anytime you can approach. So like you can start a company with the help of government funding. So you can proceed your deliverable as a product. Then you can do a joint research with the IIT, IAC, even DST, DPT. So yeah, so you can do that with that respect. And travel grant, you want to attend a conference, or you want to go to abroad and stay 1 month to understand some clinical practices or laboratory practices, or you understand some instrument or conference you wanted to understand, workshop you wanted to understand, or Nobel Rights Committee you wanted to understand. So whatever, so travel grant will be support that. And as I already told, postdoc fellowship and PhD fellowship. So both are readily available for specifically for men and women, also available. And also we can plan for center of studies. Like we can develop, we can propose the center of studies to analyze, say for example, cyber security. We can apply for center of studies to analyze only the cyber security with respect to medical field. Yes, we can approach with a huge integration of problems and all. So students funding somewhat limited, and faculties are almost faculties can apply for almost all funding. So some of the fundings age are limited. Say for example, startup research grant. Those are completed PhD within 2 years, they may be apply the startup research grant. After 2 years completed, or you are new to some colleges, you can apply. Maybe after 2 years you cannot apply. You are comes in the regular maybe you are not a junior research, you are senior research, so you cannot apply the startup grant. So it's called it as a surgery, right? So so many things are there. Under the ministry, I don't want to waste much time. So many ministries are available. And coming to the national body, everyone knows that DPT, DST, UGC, AICT, many are available. Even if you come to the 14th one, IEEE, IEE, IE, Institute of Science and Engineering, India, and even Tamil Nadu, we have DNST, and other states also, they have state level funding. So almost all the funding schemes are giving for faculty and the students in the different aspects like training and research and other programs. Like if you want to serve to the society also, yes, you can do that with your research. Or you want to install something that is not a new research, but you want to install and test it in the common field, or in your specific field where you want it to be concentrate on it. So those things can be approached in national body. Okay, so I want to say specific some bodies, right? So let me take the SERB, which comes under that DST, like core research grant, startup grant, teaching associateship research grant, and then national chair, travel grant, and SERB division, and then seminar and prime minister fellowship. So all are there in this SERB. So here, if you take like the core research grant, there is a set of rules. Anyone can apply. Uh, I have slides for that. I will show you. Then startup grant already, as I told, who can apply? The people who are recently completed the PhD or recently they joined after the postdoc or recently they joined the institution, but the age is less than 35. So those criteria are already available. So like teaching us, this is also like CAR program. Also, you can connect with any IIT or NIT professors or national funding laboratory professors. You can combinedly work. So yes, these are all available. Likely, I will take this other example from DST, Department of Science, Scientific and Industrial Research, that is called as DSIR. So I'm just taking a case study of this. Within the case study, what the agency is keeping an objective. There are 6 objectives. Agency has always interested. I made it in 5. Probably the first bullet has another 2. Like industrial R&D promotion program. In that, whether you are developing any new technology, you are already developed and you want to demonstrate. So both they are giving funding, but the condition is you have to connect with the industry. So because this proposal itself, we can see that industrial research, right? So all aspects you have to see the industrial collaborations. Suppose you are already developing some technology, the industry also already have some portfolio in that technology. With that, you are developing some business model or managerial model. It's ultimately business model. So those things we can put into the second bullet, like technology management program. Then the international technology transfer program, which exactly means that you have a technology or importing technology or exporting technology with the help of foreign company and Indian company. Finally, the Indian company get benefited. So you have to connect Indian company also. So maybe a test kit, for example, COVID case also test kit. You may be identifying a test kit, with the international collaborations coming from some industry and as well as institution, maybe Cambridge institution are doing something. You are importing that technology in Indian constitute with the CHIPLA, for example, CHIPLA and our institution and the foreign company and Cambridge and everyone put together are doing for this test kit. Probably the technology will be transferred for everyone. It will be shared for everyone, but those schemes can be applied here. So basically, these schemes, the agency is interested more on finally the technology to come to India and to serve the people, to the Indians. So like then consultancy promotion program also there. Say for example, I'm very good in PV. So there are PV companies are already available. So they are in the market. So what is my experience? I can share with them and convert their product in the different aspects. So like solar lamping, lighting, and so on. My idea I'm putting into their forum. So like those kind of practices, basically they are a small company, so they cannot as a consultant amount. So DST is paying you as a consultant amount. Finally, the product is will be delivered to the company. So you are supposed to be a consultant for that. Then within that, the technology information facilitation program is also there, which means that you are creating a technology. Say for example, you are having a supercomputer connecting 5 colleges or 5 companies, put together creating a digital platform. Those things also can be created here. So this is very interesting research agencies funding scheme. So you can concentrate if you are connected with the industry. So as I told already, I will take one example for the research schemes. What exactly? So say for example, I have a core research grant. So let me take that. So the objective of the core research grant is very, very simple. To carry the research, they give the research projects for the active researcher. Correct? So both in science and engineering. So it might be a battery, material, mathematics, even physics, basic level physics, quantum analysis, crystal related things. Yes, you can do that. Engineering, very advanced level. Hydrogen powered, maybe a photograph. So it might be a well advanced, right? So any aspects of the research can be connected here. But the only point is that you have to prove that you are an active researcher. So you should have some experience before. You have to prove that you are active researcher. Then only the core research grant you may be getting. It's somewhat difficult than other research grants. So basically, what is the nature and of this the duration other supports is that they will give equipment cost, they'll give manpower cost, consumable cost, travel cost, and contingency. Anybody might have already knows that, but I'm just explaining the people who are newly joined here, right? So equipment in sense that I have a scope, I have some digital implementation. Since I'm an electrical engineer, I'm telling in that way. Or you may be any equipment to measure some tissue habits or characteristics, whatever it is. Whatever it is comes under the equipments category, those are will be funding. Full money will be funding. Then manpower, the manpower probably everyone knows a PhD student. Yes, that is also there. But apart from that, also you can add a manpower. Like you may be like wind, you are planning a wind power plant, so you want some technician to erect those wind power plant, right? So those things you can take a manpower. Even you can recruit postdoc also here. Then consumable basically why I stripper that this. So whatever not coming under the equipment category, those are consumable. Even battery, if I take my project, battery also comes under the consumable. Though it is comes under a bigger cost, but it's consumable. Then travel, yeah, this grant is very interesting. That every year they are giving 1 lakh rupee for travel. So that might be useful for your training, or you maybe travel to DST and have some training, or you have some presentation. Yes, you can go there, or you want to attend the conference. Yes, you can go there. You can use it for those kind of practices. Travel, you and your partner, whoever may be, manpower, who might be a partner of stakeholder of this project, so you can use it. Your PA, your co-PA, your student, or anybody. Then contingency, sometimes the dollar fluctuation or rupee deviations always will be there. And apart from that, the institution also takes some money, maybe 15% to 10%, that is called overhead charges. So this project probably maximum 3 years. So I advise to write a 3 years or 2 years. So don't write 1 year. 1 year they are not interested. No research can be proven within 1 year with respect to the scope research grant criteria. So then the project maximum ceiling value 70 to 80 lakhs. So if you write 1 crore, probably they are thinking not to give, or they will come to the negotiation. So this is what the core research grant backs say. So many are like faculty, young faculty. Suppose they wanted to go for like postdoc. So okay, I have postdoc, like fellowship is nothing but postdoc. So as I already told, like either PhD or if you during the time of your doing PhD, either you are doing full time or part time, doesn't matter. You can go to the foreign or any ISC, IIT. You can continue your research sometime there, like 3 months, 6 months, or even 1 month. Or you wanted to be converted as this fellowship as a postdoc, since you are already got PhD. So yes, you can go there and you can pursue 1 year, 6 months, and 3 months. So this is basically Indian and overseas. So India in sense of the ISC and IITs, even some central laboratories also you can do. The other thing, the US and other countries, like majorly, almost every country is actually this fellowship schemes are available. Or top countries like Australia, Europe, and then US. So those, UK also they're actually having one so you have different options here, and then now the top NIT is also giving a postdoc. Say for example, NIT Trichy, according to my knowledge, the postdoc salary is actually 60,000 rupees. You will be taken as 1 year, and then that may be extended into 3 years, consecutive 3 years. If your progress is good, you are supposed to take a theory courses for the students also. So other thing that if you take in depth on this postdoc schemes, maybe the foreign schemes I'm just taking in front of you here. So SARB, as I told already, overseas postdoc scheme, yearly 100 postdoc they are given. And BN BO schemes, it's in the UGC, but presently they stopped this. So 50 postdoc they are given. The one what I have went, it is a Bhaskara fellowship, it's a yearly 7. And then Indo-US Women's Fellowship. So in our SRM also many faculty have gone the last year. So that is 50 to 20. So minimum 20 and maximum 50. This time they are given actually 50. And Fulbright Fellowship, particularly it is concentrating on Europe and UK. So that is actually comes under 100 fellowship in a year. So like these all interesting. Age limited is there, but yes, you can try. Women's scheme actually, age relaxation is up to 50, whereas the gens are like basically 40. So like when you go for postdoc, right, yearly, monthly you will be get 3,000 USD, and then other than that 1,500 USD will be get for workshop and conference and medical tickets. So roughly 15 lakhs rupees I can say, according to my experience, you can get from the government. So when you go postdoc, it is nothing that you don't want any proposal. Actually, your proposals are need here also. You have to write a proposal what you are going to do there. Literally what you are writing for core research grant, the similar kind of proposals, we have to write it for this fellowship also. Exactly, you have to put a timeline and what is your contribution there and what is your deliverable there. So you have to submit everything along with the foreign professor, recommendation letter. Then only you will be getting it. It is not that to submit just like an application to get it. Okay. So then, as I already told, the fellowship, since many are in beginning level, so I wanted to take some tips point here. So research proposal is mandate, as I already told. If you wanted to apply fellowship, then PhD, what you have done with your PhD, that's very important. You have to show that exactly what you have done with your PhD, particularly PhD. 3 to 4 publications in the PhD, you have to clearly mention what you have done in that publication. Then after PhD, what are the publications you have done? Then you have to get a post acceptance letter. He maybe give acceptance in a particular period. That's very important. You cannot say that just like an acceptance. He maybe say that I'm interested to take during the spring or winter or something like that. Then LOR from your maybe your your director or your lab in charge. Maybe you are working in a centralized institution. Probably you can get a LOR from your PhD guy or your supervisor. So yes, you can get and show your strength and in your LOR. So that's better. And then finally, clear research plan, as I already told. If you fail in the research plan, definitely the getting fellowship is very, very difficult. Then other schemes like foreign schemes, right? Already I told foreign scheme, but these are the familiar scheme. MHRD announced the recently called Spark scheme. So basically, if you take Spark scheme, it's last year has been introduced. It's the ideology to increase what is the vision of the Spark scheme? Basically, if you take IIT Kharagpur basically proposed this. So Indian world ranking is not improved at all for the past 10 years, even though they are taking a lot of measures. So finally, what they planned is that why don't you connect world research, world top 250 ranking university with our own top NIR of ranking 100 universities, so that some collaboration will happen. Slowly, this collaboration will make us, what to do to get international ranking, maybe QS ranking, world QS ranking is supposed to get it, right? So with that aspect, it has been created. So basically, this one, like it's a little to understand, but very important, because all these schemes like that only, please understand clearly. So if you wanted to apply, for example, a Spark, it is similar for all other schemes. But only condition is that other international scheme, anyone can collaborate it, but whereas in the Spark, our institution is supposed to be in top 100 NIR of ranking year on year. If you apply year on year, you have to see. For example, this year our SRM is around 45, so we are eligible. Maybe you are working some college, you may be in last year 90, this year 101, this year you cannot apply. Understand? Hope you understand, right? Right. So you are year on year, the particular year when you are applying, that specific year, your NIR of ranking is supposed to be less than 100 or 100. Yes, you are eligible to apply. As an Indian PI, you are one of the PA. Then you can add many co-PA. They are also supposed to be a 100 rank, within the 100th rank. Then the world ranking institution, they are telling about 250 rank institution, and it is available in their website itself. So you have to collaborate the world rank professors also. Even their side also, you want PA and you want co-PA. And also you can add Indian PhD students and postdoc students. And in foreign also, PhD students and postdoc students, you can connect everyone And finally, you're writing a proposal. Again, the proposal style is same, but you have to equally contribute the work, each and individual. So yes, that will be gives a very clear methodology on these international proposals. Hope you understand. With the time limit, I cannot explain more. So I hope you understand. Right. Now, you may be confused that which scheme you wanted to apply. What this is my idea where I supposed to submit. Let me take an example. Like I have some instrument to measure simple virology issues, detection of virus affected cases or something like that. Whether should I go to DPT or any DSC specific scheme already there for COVID-19, and I am a young researcher, whether should I submit a startup grant or should I go for core research grant or any other extra scheme may be there. Yes, this confusion always there, but you have to take a trade-off. You have to clearly read the agency's mission, and you know that how long time you want, how much fund you want, what is your collaborator, what is your, as I already told, what is your logical plan of your proposal. Based on that, you have to plan for this. So basically, funding agency, right funding agency, I can say in this one word, your research objective fit into the funding agency mission. Every funding agency have that mission. Correct? As industrial research, as I said, that finally your product is supposed to reach to industry. That's a mission. There I am writing some proposal to finding out maybe some kind of basic research to investigate some characteristics. That won't fit there. So basically, you have to produce a 100% deliverable product in that scheme. So you how do you go about it? Again, every proposal schemes. If you enter into that, proposal guidance will be there. The topic, what they supported, are also already available. The announcement is very, very clear. So I advise that read properly. Don't basically we discuss among our friends pre-review people and we take a decision from that. I think that is a mistake actually. We have to read ourselves clearly because it's available clearly in the website. Then you can have a discussion. So believe the instruction what they are given. So don't take it wrong understanding. Like say for example, like what you understand, what they say, that's very clear. What you are wanted to say in your proposal, because they may say that they want this kind of practice. For example, they are telling that you cannot recruit the manpower in this proposal. So you and your co-PA are supposed to do the entire project. In that, you are writing a reason for the manpower. It is indirectly you are forcing the instruction to them to do. So that is very bad practice. That's why I'm trying to say that you should read the instruction very clearly. What is vision for the agencies? So in that way, you can choose your proposal. Probably you want more manpower, let's go with core research grant. Or you want less manpower, maybe you can go with the international collaboration research and all. Because international collaboration, you cannot claim more right. So I have some model anyway. Finally, I will quickly tell this model. Just will skip this. This model is already available. So quickly, I will run to the slides because we want to go to the important thing. So you should know what is the agency, clearly that agency mission. Then read the instruction very, very carefully. It is a very be instructive, like because that sometimes reviewer may feel that the PA is not able to follow the instruction. They are not interested to give a funding because you never follow anything. Then even then they're giving a project. So in that way they feel, and write with full confidence. Do not neglect others' idea. So it means that sometimes we may be writing a objectives, and then we are investigating some of the early research also, but we are shading something, right? You are not showing some kind of researcher what is that been already done in that area. Wantedly you are doing it. Why? Because you are also doing the same. So don't do like that. That might be a big mistake. Normally, that kind of practices. The people who are actually reviewing your proposal, they know well. So maybe you can say the research experience, what they are retrieved from their research output, and what you are going to exercise something different in terms of stakeholder point of view or experimental point of view, or you're going to bring a new kind of research study in that. In that way, you have to write, but don't neglect any kind of other side which are there in that same area. Then the other thing, like you have a scientific idea, whether you are planning to do that in your college. As I told already, I have given an example also here, right? So, for example, the Staple Chatterjee research at a small arts college can do that, because this is a mass-related spectroscopy meter. Yeah, this spectroscopy meter is supposed to there in your college so that you can do the space research. So, kind of things also we should understand. What is there with our college? Probably you are not claiming that equipment in your proposal also. Then who going to give that equipment to exercise your research? So that question will come. Whether your partner supposed to have that equipment, or your college should have that equipment, or you have to be procured through this project. Then you can investigate those practices. So that is very important. The environmental aspects, like where you are working, and then you are locating there's research stakeholder in Kashmir, and then you are the tile part of the South India. You are planning your research. Yeah, that is not going to be going to be successive manner. So you have to be always see the stakeholder very nearby. So the field case study can be very nice. Then if you have any doubts, nothing wrong. You contact program officer either through call or email and clarify yourself. Don't take it to your own decision. And finally, selecting a topics. This is the right picture I always ask to say. You have one area, but you are trying to do multiple proposal. Like you see here, he has multiple hands and doing multiple work. Yeah, sometimes it may be correct and sometimes it may not be. So if you go for core research grant, for example, please concentrate only core research grant. Don't try any other schemes. Or you are trying for the lesser fund. Yes, you can connect. Or you are going for a bigger funding with the collaborating with many faculties. Okay, part of the work you can give it into that big project, big grant. But this is normally, according to me, you have to restrict yourself to concentrate only one area. So, what is going to decide your research topic? Basically, very important. Methodological. You are doing some methods, or you are if you are going to repeat practice, but you are going to exercise a new results, or you are going to demonstrate, or something is not done before, you are going to do as a first, or very specific significance you are identifying from your research output probably, or in your from methodology, and probability of success, like many are attempted something, or probability of success maybe 60%, but you are claiming probability of success maybe 80%. Yes, you can go ahead. And maybe some of the attempts, maybe if you take an electrical vehicle, some aspects it's not workable model. Suppose you are doing a workable model, yes, you can go ahead. So based on that, you decide your topic. You have to convince yourself. Then what do you know into the field first? Exactly, you should know all these points. What is the current state of art in that particular area? And who are the top 10 researchers in this field in India and as well as abroad? And what are the source of funding, as I already told, in your research topic and the area, who is going to be funded? Then what is the key research issue will be there? And likely, who is going to be review your proposal? It might be a DST or MNRE, MHRD. So like, so this is all very important. Then build your, madam, please mute your mic. Ma'am, someone is talking, please mute your mic. So please build your strength, like you differentiate yourself like from your PhD thesis, like this also. So like many people are normally connect with the PhD, and yes, that is correct, but don't repeat again. So you may say that you are going to extend that, and provided you see you have been completed a PhD in 2010, and now you are telling something from your PhD you are going to do, that's not going to work. So you have to keep it in mind. Then that's what I used to say, that the second bullets, like update literature is very, very important. If you are doing it 2000, today I'm going to submit, today morning, if there any article comes, common article I'm telling you, for cyber security example was what I said, that the Russia's certain all US laboratory, right? That will be a literature survey search actually. So today I'm submitting in center. This is yesterday, a day before yesterday news. I have to put into that my research literature. So that explanatory research background you have to write. Not only literature, you have to say why they are exercising and what they got it and what you wanted to be connected to that. That's very important. And establish your contact in sense that the 10 top researcher I said, right? If you have any doubt, nothing wrong, you ask them. They maybe send their papers. You can read the paper, you can understand more, and then you can target what they have done. Because you should not enter the wrong information into that. Okay. Then reviewer wants to know from you, the funding agency reviewer, research objective, technical approach, methodology, you and your facility, you and your faculties, I mean you and your co-PA, what is their background, whether this area can be familiar to them or not, those things. And is there any secondary objective? Secondary objective in sense that apart from the deliverable, maybe a converting as a product, okay, this might be additional research endurance for the coming years. You are going to develop a laboratory setup, maybe that may be useful for the students. Now on our online education, maybe I'm developing some system for online education. Probably it might be used now and even later also after this COVID issues, everything will solve. Even the weekends program we can conduct, summer program we can conduct. So you have to connect in that. Then I can say the full package, like the background, problem, solution, sustainability. With that, I can clearly conclude what is the research proposal it is. What is the background? From the background, what is your problem and what is going to be a solution? Your solution is going to be give a product probably that's the sustainability. That's it. So, and your problem should have an outcome and should have a means in that purpose. Anything is having a purpose. Now the seminar's purpose is that you wanted to understand some flavor from the seminar. So to correct yourself, or you wanted to be address at least few points. Those are already familiar, or if they are new, they maybe get something from this seminar. So that's the purpose. It is not that a purpose to get a certificate. Correct. So in that way, you have to match up very, very clearly your problem, outcome, and should have a means. Simply you are taking one problem, there will be a deliverable. There is no means in sense that is not going to be a attractive proposal. Okay, so now I assume that we have an idea. Now I assume that all the participants have any idea. Now we are entering into the proposal writing format. So what I have to keep it in my mind. So this is basically a common structure. I am not restricting on any specific structure. I am common structure. So executive summary, presentation organization, background, problem statement, goal and objective, beneficiary, research methodology, budget, monitoring and evaluation, deliverables, and sustainability, and some annexes there. So maybe I am taking as a common thing here, and some of the proposal, if you take formatting, something is not there or something maybe available extra, but we are going to cover everything now quickly. So if you take this executive summary, quickly I will tell all the points. I cannot spend more than 10 to 15 minutes in this, otherwise the time will be extended. Then it's trouble, right? So like basically if you take here, the executive summary, what we have to do it here, it is the first and foremost part is coming your proposal. So you should make very clear, crystal clear, communicator manner. Otherwise, the people who are reading your proposal, they will get bored or they will get irritated and throw your words. So keep it in mind. So this is your first and foremost. So better you write in the end, like when you write a paper, you write in the end, your abstract, right? In that way, you write in the end. So here also, if you feel whether the agency will read all the parts, no, not at all. They will read some part, even though you're giving 1,000 words or 300 words or 500 words, according to the proposal, these words will be changed, but only the some part. But whatever the part they are reading, the part supposed to be, interesting to read to make them to read the other parts of the same executive summary. So you have to keep it in that one as a mind. So like keep here what you are going to do, where you are going to do, why you want to do this, for whom you are going to do this, with whom you are going to do this, how long you are going to do this, or how long time it is going to sustain. So those things will be come into the picture. So do, yes, write in the last, as I said already, do it very carefully, keep it in very short, do not cut paste from other paper, internet and whatever. Because you know that DST all online portal is automatically Turnitin integrated. So once you it comes under the copy category, it will be thrown. Then coming to presentation and organization, maybe I can say it's a background of proposal also. So clearly establish your credential of your project. Like maybe even it is not going to be a too short. Like you maybe it's like a content of the presentation only, but maybe you can write it like too short, and you can write in this way, like who are you, like I'm a researcher and so on. So so something like what are the mandates are there, and some history and significance, invented track, expertise addressing what you wanted to do, problem or needs in that area, specific structure what you wanted to do, and affiliations and some linkages and source of supports, everything you have to address that. Then project background. So maybe the presentation organization, many proposal it is not there, but this background of the project normally is available for all the proposals for meeting. So basically you have to look it into content like this. Who took this initiative? Yuvraj, please. Yuvraj. Okay, so sorry. So who took this initiative? Like as I said that you are doing research, right? Okay, solar renewable energy system for rural area. Yes, that's a rural people.
Excuse me,
sorry for
sir. Sir, I
interrupting.
think you are muted.
Okay, sorry for that. No, it's okay, right? No, it's okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
proceed.
Okay, so I'll just take again the point, like the background of the research, like the initiative for whom. Then does the project fit into the existing platform? Like it has been already done with the yearly funding aspects. Like maybe you are continuing the same. Maybe you yourself you have done already something in that area. Probably you're extending the same for the current scenario or current environmental studies. So like those things you have to be addressed very clearly. And so again, I'm telling you, this is also something the people interested to read that. So you have to give very important. So you have to say that your activities very clearly. So what previously it has been done in that area, so that is very well focused on this project background, because the background in center, it's not only your background, it is a background of the entire globe, the India. If you write for an India, it's for India, and then it is for for in your side also. Probably you are working in that area, and you might be you can write it what you have done already and what you wanted to do. Probably those things you can fit here. And I just skipped some of the slides. So basically comes under this what do you call it? Background, the problem statement. Yuvraj, please, Yuvraj. It's a better. Okay, so why it is important? The problem statement, like, so this is actually a real problem. So that here you are going to disclose your problem. So problem statement, like you have to be very concurrent on the problem to whom. Then concentrate and their specific problem, like not don't focus the big problem. Like you maybe focus the big one, like, and you have to take it into narrow down way. Like then whether it should be demonstrated, yes, those things during the demonstration. If there any problems are there, yes, and it is already solvable. Yes, they are solvable, but sometimes they may not be solvable. So okay, so you can give those things, and yeah. So what is the demand in that problem? At present, if you take COVID, huge demand, right? You are right, all the demands, right? Then if there any emergency or priority, okay, sometime if you take a COVID, if you write something, it's a most emergency, but probably I'm writing some proposals like hydrogen power train. It's not a most emergency, like it's maybe a priority of 2025 for the concern of energy saving aspects, but now if you consider, it is not. So like we have to see, like in this way, you have to approach in this way as a problem statement. So problem statement is very important. So describe your scope size and what is the immediate causes of the problem, and then maybe you are underlying what are the causes probably for the immediate problem, and what are the effects may become, and who affected, the people who's going to be affected, and why it's supposed to be addressed, and you are going to address now, and laterally you are going to address, or it is going to be a sustainable solution. So those things has to be addressed here. And goal and objective, probably you can say objective may be 3 to 4 bullets. So you have to clearly, keep in your mind that your goal is supposed to be a long-term goal. Point number 1, at least 5 years, 10 years, it should be a long-term goal. And if there is any specific objective in your project, if any core problem, yes, you can say that is a specific objective. So maybe I can say example like solar based electric cooker is already available in the market. Anyway, I'm assuming that it's not available. So anyway, technology of solar cooking is already available, but solar based electrical cooker, probably I am adding with the battery, and through the solar charging, and whenever the solar is there, during the time directly charging. So those things we are giving in sense that the problem is related to food cooking, right? So that is what is a specific objective. But in general, if you take, I am going to develop a solar cooker, I am going to investigate the solar energy conversion in the rural area. So, and what is the expected outcome with an objective? Finally, you are going to be an expected outcome, concrete result, what you are going to give in your project, that has to be one of the objectives. So almost I can say, so one deliverable will be coming from your project. That is going to be a final bullets of your objective. Don't write any story on the objective. So the objective, the smart objective, you have to keep it in mind, is very specific, measurable, acceptable, relevant, and timely. So this is the point I may say you have to concentrate on it. And beneficiaries, basically beneficiary, as I said, there are 2 beneficiaries. One is direct beneficiaries, another one is indirect beneficiaries. So you have to see that beneficiaries, how many, what is in size, if it is direct means what way it is direct, what are the stages it may be get beneficial for those things. Project methodology, it is almost there for all the project, very, very important content in these proposals. So who is your partner, what is your project implementation activities, what are the risk assumptions, and what are the means in every stage of project implementation, and those things comes under this methodology. Basically, how many objectives you have, all the objectives should have a methodology. Within the methodology, probably you have additional subtopics also, nothing wrong, but each and every objective should have a methodology. Like basically, if you take, I have listed almost all these things. It has many things, but I'll quickly tell about that. So partner, in sense that I said already, the area where you're going to do environment, your track record, what type of partnership you're going to have, you and your PA and co-PA, your technological equipments, what you have with you. So everything comes under that category. Then project implementation should give a very clear justification of your project implementation. What are the responsible of individual human resource and stakeholders to execute this project, and during that activities, who is going to do, how much they're going to do, and where they're going to do, when they're going to do, so all these things we have to give it into the activities. Basically, this is a common structure. If you go into the any proposal, like we'll put a monthly chart, like activity chart. So you have to put the activity chart, and you have to say each and every time what you are going to do. So basically methodology means 5 methodology. If I have 5 activities, all activities, 4 activities here, all activities comes under methodology. So each and every month I should map maybe a first activity. I'll start with the first month, the second month. Second activity, during the first activity itself, I am supposed to start with the second month itself. So it is all going parallel, you see here. So we have to give crystal and clear activities why we are parallelly doing it. So those things we have to give it here. But many proposal people are normally preparing this chart just like that. So we have to give very important. First you do this chart, then you write everything. So that's better. Then risk and assumptions. Like risk means sense that definitely any proposal, if you do that, some risk factor will be there. So you have to keep those risk factor, and some assumptions also will be there. So those assumptions also you can put into the methodology. And your human resource and what are the material resources that are available, travel and everything you have to mention that. And finally budget. The budget spreadsheet will be there. I will show you. So you have to give a clear explanation of each and every budgetary explanation. For example, equipment if you buy, why you have to say that why that equipment is needed. That equipment is connected in the methodology or not. Those things you have to give it here. So basically budget you have to plan through your action plan. Okay. So then you are coming to the monitoring and evaluation. So monitoring and evaluation says that some of the proposals are available, but some other proposal is not there. So monitoring means that you have to fix that assessment. First year you have completed. So you have to put your monitoring task like review 1, review 2, who is going to review it. So what are the results you are going to test it. So maybe medical research normally it is happened, right? So those things we have to be concentrated on. Then evaluation also, yes, we have to, actually normally evaluation in any agency, once in a year you have to go to the evaluation. So ourselves, what are the evaluation, we have to be kept in. So that evaluation sense that is effective, if it efficient, it's any impact, it's sustainable. So these are the parameters actually the effect. So I can say 100% efficiency, 90% efficiency, 10 years sustainability, it's our rigidness or it has robustness. So something like that. Those evaluation has to come in the monitoring side. Okay. So yes, then as I said, this is a budgetary. If you take a budget, like I have 4 years budget, 3 years budgetary. You can see here manpower, consumable, travel, equipment, contingency, and other costs overhead flow. So we have to fit properly. Now I am putting different numbers here in a rupee. So it is not just like that I have put. We have to work it out very clearly according with our methodology. So methodology table, based on that only you have to exercise this. But any agency, normally the equipment, the first year itself they will give. But other costs you have to be claim with respect to your methodology. Then finally manpower, yes, you are ready to take postdoc or even any kind of graduation or JRF students, PhD students, yes you can. But you have to show what is their importance for them. Then finally sustainability, very important. Institution sustainability, technical sustainability, social culture sustainability, financial sustainability. In that way you have to approach your project and say that. And deliverable, I just missed that bullet. So deliverable, you must say finally what is your deliverable. I am going to develop a solar lamp. I am going to develop a test kit. It might be cost effective. It might be this and that. And I have to give something so that it's better. Okay. Then finally annexure. Annexure you can give all these things. We cannot spend more time. So just I will read out and content. What are the table of content? Right? Glossaries, maps, statistical proof of any tax beneficiary or your institution have been registered medical research practice. For example, SRM is one of the the COVID vaccine test center, right? So likewise, you can add all those things if it is relevant to your project. Okay, letter of support, pictures, case studies, anything. Then finally, this is already we have discussed actually. Just I will skip this. But anyway, significance of your project, approach your project, innovation of your project, investigator within your project, and environment of your project. Environment in the sense that scientific environment, as I said, collaborative environment, who are your collaborators, what is your institution support, everything. So these will help for review your project. Probably those will help you to get the success. And finally, the resume. Many people will extragolate your resume. You are putting unnecessary thing. So don't put unnecessary thing. Like put your CV according to your the project title or project what you are going to do. You may be a multiple discipline researcher, but maybe 1 or 2 paper if you wanted you can show that. Apart from that, you should more specific on your topic. Okay, so as I am just complete this, then maybe another 5 minutes I'm going to take. Sir, will it be? Okay, right. So when you go for some proposal, like I just made it this format, right? So first you understand your strength and weakness to identify, and then you have to understand the vision and mission of the scheme. Then you prepare these two, maybe a bullet point in a paper, then develop the project title or area what you want. Within that title and area, you have to be, create some idea within that idea. What is that problem, to whom you are going to address and so things. Then what is your research background in that? So here you may get a lot of idea, but you are not that researcher. So I may get an idea, maybe COVID remote testing vehicle, which can be totally, machine learning aspects. I am going to develop a COVID testing vehicle. It can be go the doorstop to measure the patient. Yes, that's very great invention if you have, but I am not a person to do that, right? So in that way, we have to narrow down what is my research on my idea. So with that, you have to prepare your project first. Then see what is your supports and involvements. Like I have a faculty, I have doctors to help for this idea, so on. Then identify the alternate approach. Suppose I don't have, okay, with that doctor I will ask, he may be a proven doctor, he has good experience with the AIIMS and all. So okay, fine, he may be given additional approach to me. So where should I approach for getting an additional benefit or aspects to my project? Then prepare the description. So yeah, so I'm just giving here, I'm giving a first description here only. I'm not immediately decided what I'm going to do, correct? Then once you do that, then you have to prepare your agency. That's why I tell you who was the potential agency to do that. That's called selecting the agency. Provided you have to see the mission of the agency also. So who agency and what is the mission and what is my project. So finally you have to select the funding resources. Then you write a mini proposal. Once you write the mini proposal and yourself, you have a lot of questions. That's called I put inquiry. So in that inquiry, you will be give answer for the lot of questions what you are getting from your mini proposal. Then you go for your big proposal, what I explained before. Then you write a proposal and then submit. So this is what I supposed to say according to my experience for the successful proposals. So then checklist, do not leave the statement as an unsolved problem, and outcome do not correspond to the problem. Maybe you are saying something, the output is something. No, not at all. You should not be there like that. And you are saying some outcome, but that is not to be a solution of the objective. The objective have some problem, say some problem, but the deliverable, it is not giving a solution to that. It's not an outcome. So that sometimes it's happened. So objective, deliverable, maybe outcome should be aligned in the same, right? So probably your proposal activities, sometimes it is not good with the objective and outcome. Then the human resources also not match with that. So then pay attention. Maybe your language, your tense, everyone may say that, but title is supposed to be catchy. So that point I have to say that. And apart from that, your organization logo, if you are printing, then footer note, title, paragraph, subheadings, because these things normally we will visit. And finally, evaluation, like when you go evaluation, as I already told you that they see your objective, technical approach, methodology, and your facility, your institution facility. This is only going to be decide your project whether it's going to be selected or not. In additional, you have any secondary objective, as I already told, that will be added advantages. Then finally, you have some question. Maybe you have some mini questions, but before that, I just have some more questions myself. So these may be your questions like, PA role for the project, and can be a co-PA, fellowship. Yes, PA role of project, you are full responsible. Co-PA, you are partially responsible, but PA will be a full responsible. PA will do work for you, and without PA, you cannot communicate even DST or which forum you are getting funding. Fellowship within a project, or you are applying fellowship, yeah, who is, yes, only PA. Then DST or any schemes, whatever the schemes you are applying, yes, this scheme comes under which forum, DST, it comes under this and that. So all those questions will be always available. And other schemes are there, yes, that's also available. And any special scheme, what I have to do for special scheme. And my professor is there and me is there. My professor is merely aging early. He wanted to be a PA or I wanted to be PA. Nothing wrong. You may be a PA, he may be a co-PA. So here there is no age and no seniority and nothing. Project is totally based on the knowledge, and even not only knowledge, based on your approach. Like, so you may be PA, he may be co-PA. Nothing wrong. And what is the funding limit? Majorly funding limit already we discussed. Like try to restrict the agency mission. With that you can easily identify it's a 70-80. Maybe a good number for that, maximum good number for that. Manpower I already discussed. Special call, yes, we already discussed.